What did my life look like before I had my first insight into the three principles? I guess it would be best to say that I was an overthinker. I used to think about so many things. I used to worry about the future. I used to be a big planner. I used to be a big organizer. I used to try and control life. I used to think people should be a certain way. I used to worry that I wasn't good enough. I used to be on a self improvement drive, as you can tell. I was quite busy in my mind, trying to improve myself, trying to improve other people, trying to make life better, trying to be one step ahead of life. So for me, the biggest difference is that I began to trust something, actually, something really intuitive that I call the inner compass. That's the name of our social enterprise. And the inner compass is an inner guidance system, wisdom within, that I completely and utterly trust now. And as I trust that, I find that I no longer have to overthink each step of my life because I know that something else is guiding me. And I just need to quieten my head down to listen to it. So that's been the biggest difference for me. So, what was my first insight? In some ways, that's really hard to explain because I had lots of little insights that I still can't put words or language to. I came across the three principles in 2012, and a friend of mine said, "Have you come across the three principles?" At the time, I ran a coaching business. I still do. It looks very different now. But when she said, "Have I come across the three principles?" I wanted to know more about these things called the three principles because I thought, here's something else I can add to my toolkit, another strategy, a technique, another way of working with clients, of dealing with limiting beliefs, something else I could get busy getting my head around and helping others to get their heads around so they could be better people. And the biggest difference, I guess, which is an insight, is realizing the three principles weren't that they weren't a thing to understand intellectually, that they were something beyond that. And the big insight that I guess has been the thread I've been following ever since is looking more deeply within to that inner space within that is much greater than the little Liz that you see in front of you now, but is actually the connected to what is the energy behind life itself. It is love, compassion, connection. It is that energy that is taking form as little Liz, but little Liz is not where it starts. And as I look back on that thread, I become more and more nourished at realizing I am much, much more than I think I am. And it all started with that conversation with the coach that said, "Have you come across the three principles?" And then me starting to follow a thread that's taken me on the most nourishing journey of my life and continues to do so. How has my life and practice changed since coming across the three principles? I guess the biggest thing is, for me personally, life is more simple, less busy with my thinking. It just means that I trust that deeper intuition, that deeper inner compass, as I refer to it in my life. I trust that something will always show me the way in my life, whatever the circumstances I experience in life. That's the biggest thing. It's just so reassuring to know that it's not on me. I'm riding the wave. I don't have to create the wave of my life. And how has it changed my practice? Well, it just means that I no longer look at people as needing to be fixed. I see them much more than the problems that they present me with or the stories they present me with. I see them as actually they just need to be reminded that they are much more than their stories about themselves, their identity. They are much more than the challenges that they experience in life. So I'm actually pointing them back to that deeper space of resilience, love, compassion that is who they truly are. And I know that because I know that in myself. It's at the heart and core of all of us. So my practice is much less about trying to make them feel better, but much more about helping them understand who they are so that they can bring their awareness and attention to who they are. And then from that space, they can navigate with their own inner compass, and they will make great decisions in their life when they trust that. How do I see this understanding changing the field of mental health and our understanding of the human spirit? I guess it's going to change everything. It certainly has for me. Whereas before I saw myself as a separate individual where it was frightening. Life, navigating through life was frightening. I was scared of what people thought of me. I was scared of what I'd experienced in my past. I was terrified of the future. I thought I had to control everything and get everything ordered and planned and organized in order for life to happen in a certain way. I thought I needed other people to respond in a certain way for me to have a good life. It was a very frightening life in many ways, and I just don't experience that in the same way anymore. I trust something more deeply. I trust something that is absolutely 100% reliable, and it's more it's at the root and core and essence of who I am. And I really see that is the same for everybody I come across. I do a lot of work in communities now where listening is the absolute key of everything I explore. And I see it with the people that I engage with at a grassroots level, is that people just want to be heard. People are scared. People are scared of the thoughts that they have and the fears that they have, and that they're scared of the future and their past haunts them. And yet, actually, if you see all of those fears as almost like curtains or veils that you can kind of find your way through, that when people actually come back to that essence of who they are, that connected essence, that spirit of love, that energy beyond life, when they start to get a taste of that, then life isn't so frightening. And it really does something to walk through life. And it can be really challenging. Life can be challenging. Health, loved ones, finances, job. There are challenges that we experience in life. But if you can walk through life and deeply know that whatever life throws at you, whatever circumstances that you are going to meet with, that you can just take the next step, it makes a huge difference. So I think that this understanding ultimately can completely transform mental health, the conversations we have about mental health. Because the conversations at the moment about mental health are about fixing, so that if somebody is broken and they need fixing. And it's a very different conversation where you say to someone, you're not broken, you're actually just believing something that you're not. I want you to be curious about and place your attention on something that is so rock solid and grounded within you that you will never feel the same fear again about life, because you begin to realize that you're not alone and you're not separate, and you are so much more than you think you are. And in that knowing, you will find your way through life and whatever challenges life throws at you.